Okay, Shalom. Okay, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Rakakadash. Okay, double honors to our apostles, the great millstone, the elders of GMS. Salutation, peace, and blessings to the children of Israel, the people of Negro and Indian descent. Okay, Israelite foreigners that don't look like the people of Indian descent, but have the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The spirit of an Israelite, okay, and Al Qawath, the women that are humbling themselves to learn this truth, the harsh realities of this truth, in which you see the spirit of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua is bringing the harsh realities of these scriptures out. Um, and I'm just speaking on my experience in my life, uh, you know, concerning the and to me it's not harsh, you know, being a young man, well, being what's referred to in the scriptures as being young, a young man and a young woman, and like I said, speaking from my uh, own perspective, to my own experience, um, when turning 12, how uh, shit, uh, I started to get 421st Street, I started literally getting a spiritual ass whooping, you know, and that's literally that, and that's saying that with all seriousness, seriousness, getting a spiritual ass whooping, man. The harsh realities of this world, which I was being confronted with when I turned 12. And not all of it has been all down. You know, I always make the comments. The Most High, He's always spoiling me, which, I'm, you know, I'm, I'm being sincere. I'm being serious when I say that Most High has always spoiled me. You know, But I had my shares of getting my ass whooped, which still continues to this day. The hard times, the trials that we face. But anyway, um, turning 12, but Um, when I was turned 14 years old, I met a girl, a little Israelite foreigner. You know, she had a little bit of natural tan to her as well, though, but she was what the world would consider a white woman to this day. IUIC will reject and call a Edomite. IUIC, ISUPK will call an Edomite, which this girl was clearly a Jake, man, clearly a Jake. And at that age, um, I was one of the very few, especially growing up around the foods that I grew up around. They noticed that this this so-called white woman, she was built like a sister, man, and she, even to this day, she still, well, she put on a little weight, but she still got them curves and that fat ass, man. And that's one of the things, the brothers that I grew up around that that knew of her, you know, well, they seen her with me. They seen her coming to my basketball games at the rec center. They knew of her that way. They didn't deal with her, even though they tried and made their attempts. But even when I run into her this day, she jokes. She still jokes with me, because when I first came in the truth, when I seen her, I told her that she was one of my wives, and I explained to her the scriptures. And she cracks up, and she tells me, and even to this day, when we run into each other, she's always asking for her alimony money. Just a little insight. Just a little silly joke, man. But like I said, when I was 14, I met her. She was 12 years old, and at 12 years old, I remember she was having a period, because I was with her constantly, especially after when we first had our first sexual experience behind the rec center. Um, it was on from there on. It was constant sex, constant. And to this day, I'm surprised she never got pregnant. But it was constant sex. All right. And I was with her enough that I remember the times that she was on her period. And in my dumbass state of mind, I didn't care then. I didn't have sex with her. But in my dumbass state of mind, I didn't care. But she was in that conscious mind, like, nah, we're not going to do this, you know? But at 12 years old, and that's one thing that we discuss a lot when we run into each other, was, we may have, there's times we may have a little time on our hands and we actually sit there and talk, because we both involved with the same type of business, involved with cleaning service. She's been doing it for far more years than me, you know, and that's how I ran back into her, because I was out buying supplies, You know, me and my wife was actually out buying supplies, and my wife actually met her. My current wife actually met her too. It's kind of funny, man, how things work out, how things play out in this world. But anyway, she jokes with me still. And that's one of the things she's mentioned is I took advantage of her, which she's just joking, because she pursued me, and even most of the sexual encounters, which, man, that was 50-50, you know. And this is when she was 12 years old. She was having a period, and she was heavily sexual active with me. Man, we were behaving like we were a married couple, even though we were sneaking behind, you know. Her parents didn't accept her. They would have never accepted her being with a young black man, you know. But her younger brother was always cool with it. And he never put her on blast and confronted her in front of the parents, you know, and told on her or whatever. But that's why how the relationship was, we were able to continue it on for several years. All right, but she would mention that sometimes, how I took advantage of her and how mean I was, you know, taking advantage as far as the sex goes, at 12 years old. It's kind of wild. And the funny thing is, look up that name Sharon. I looked it up. The name Sharon, it's an actual Hebrew name. Sharon. That's how I guess you would pronounce it. As a girl, it's how to use it, how it's a name that's used with men and women. But Sharon, as a girl's name, is of Hebrew origin, meaning a fertile plan. In the Bible, Sharon refers to flat land at the foot of Mount Carmel. And that's just, I'm always, like I said, man, just looking at my life and just looking at it and studying it, past, present, man, it's kind of crazy how the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has always been there. It's always been there. What's her name? Sharon. Like I said, an Israelite form, but like I said, she jokes with me about those things. We joke together about it. So, IUIC would literally look at me as what? As a child molester. Even though I was 14, she was 12. and keep in mind, remember, this relationship continued on for several years until that wicked spirit of mine got on me, and I left her alone. I distanced myself from her, getting older, to test on my inside of you, raging. I'm craving more and more women. I literally cut her off. No more contact. She went crazy for a little while. Anger set in, and so on and so on. But being a young man, I'm out there chasing after women, chasing them. Being tall, being chocolate. Being in shape, 6-pack, little muscles. These women are attracted to that, man. Like I said, I was overwhelmed with that demon, man. According to the Bible, you got to continue on with that woman. It's a wicked act to cut that woman off. And there's an account I'm thinking of in the Bible, which it was wicked for King David's son to rape his sister, and his sister said that it was a wicked act. Obviously, she was trying to prevent him from raping her, from taking it, but he threw her out, and she said, and why do such wickedly, after you done took it, why do a wicked thing and throw me out now? So something to that extent. The scripture, you know what I'm referring to. Those of us that's in this book, that's in this Bible, that's prophets of the Lord, the account. But that, like I said, being overwhelmed with that demon, I'm in the world, man. And the one reason why I really cut her off was, the sneaking around. I got tired of that. And when I'm meeting other girls that I don't have to sneak around with, especially other younger black women, I don't have to sneak around with, I considered that useless when she wasn't. I was just out of my mind. I was, that thought of those demons, man. And you wonder why we, as the children of Israel, are being punished, because we're being punished because of the wicked deeds that, our wicked acts, you know. So, right, like I said, IUIC, ISUPK, they would look at her as an Edomite, and look at me as a what? Was I a rapist? So what they're looking at, and by judging the prophets, which they can't really judge us anyway, because we're coming correctly with it. We're coming correctly with it. And what's really inspired this video is Apostle Tahar's video of "You're Not a Man" at 12 man, these dudes is totally in their emotions, man, which is totally a female characteristic. All right, but they're in the mind of Egypt, which that's why I got Isaiah 30:2 up here. Let me pull it up here. That walk, Isaiah 30:2, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. So let's look at the word trust there. We're going into that just looking at the word trust. Slock it. Oh man. This is not the trust that I'm looking for. Or is it? No. Refuge shelter? No. Let's go to the other one here. That's why you got to go into these other words, because they have different meanings. You have to, when you go into these words, man, you'll notice another strong will show a totally different meaning. To seek refuge, flee for protection, to put trust in, confide, or hope in. Confide or hope in. So they're in their state of mind. They're going with Esau's ways. His ways, and the way of this world is totally against Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Totally against it. The ways of this world is of that false balance. Let's look at that word confide. Is it confide? Confide. 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 Okay? Confide. To trust, to place trust or have faith. Okay? And that's pretty much what those that's in their emotions coming up against the true doctrine of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, that you're a man at 12, and that young female is a woman when she reaches the flower of her age, and the flower of her age was when she had that period. And sometimes it can be 11, 12, 13 years old, and the flower is referring to the youth, which there's a scripture I'm thinking of that's in Samuel, when I speaking about the curse that David was going to be under. It mentions the flower. They're going to die at the flower of their age. I can get that. It's somewhere in 1st or 2nd Samuel in a minute. But to place trust or have faith, to trust in, rely firmly upon, and believe. So they believe, since this white man said that, oh shit, this motherfucking bitch has gotten close to the car. They trust in Egypt said that you're not a man or a woman until you 18, in some cases 21 years old. Here that female done slept with multitudes and multitudes of men, but she's not before she was 18, but she's not a woman till they 18, and some, like I said, some cases 21. People are crazy, man. People are literally crazy, man. So where's the scripture at? I thought I pulled it up. I thought I put it up. The flower of age scripture. Here we go. First Corinthians. And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction. All right, let's look up a few of these words. And this I speak for your own profit, for your benefit. Well, I said benefit. I don't want to be making up words here. For your profit. Let's look up the word profit here. I don't know why this keeps skipping to another screen.
Strong's G 4851. Sumferro.
Profit, to bear or bring together, to bear together or at the same time, to carry with others, to collect or contribute in order to help, be profitable, be expedient. There you go. And that's pretty much what we use these scriptures for help, man. For guidance. All right. Look up another word here. So in this way is this where we reject the ways of this world. We reject Egypt. You know. Okay. And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, a trick or a trap, but for that which is calmly. Let's look up calmly. Calmly. For that which is calmly. For that which of elegant figure, shapely, graceful, comely, bearing one's self becoming in speech or behavior, of good standing, honorable, influential, wealthy, and respectable. Okay, let's continue on. For that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord without distraction. But if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, okay, what did calmly say? Come on, let's go back to calmly again. Honorable, influential, wealthy, respectable, okay, a shapely, graceful, comely, bearing oneself becomingly in speech or behavior. Okay, I didn't feel that when I was 14 years old when I met this thick, curvy, voluptuous 12-year-old, and she was. I'm not even exaggerating, and not even in the least bit. You know, um, you know, I was I was I was dealing with her lawfully. You know, pursuing sex. So I didn't have a doubt in my mind. Raging hormones. I didn't beat her. None of that. That didn't come on until later in my life, as far as how dealing with women. Okay, so without a shot, but if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin young lady, okay, if she pass the flower of her age and need so require, let him do what he will. He sinneth not, let them marry. And that was my first marriage. No, actually, that was my second marriage. As far as girls I've been with, and that was just another virgin. Like I said, what I mentioned earlier, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, how Yahweh, our Heavenly Father, spoiled me, man. I went through several virgins, man. You know, I went through I had a handful of them, virgins. You know, wives. But the world we were living in, we were treated as children. The ways of Egypt, we were in the eye, we were children, you know, and not just young adults looking to establish our own lives. We were treated as children, and in some cases talked down on and verbally attacked, you know. So it says anyway, he sinneth not, let them marry. So in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we sinned. We didn't sin. We didn't sin until we went to a female that already had sex with another man. So that made you both adulterers and adulteress. Okay. Okay. Nevertheless, he that standeth steadfast in his heart, having no necessity, but have power over his own will, and have so decreed in his heart that he will keep his virgin, doeth well. And that's where, in my case, I didn't do well because I didn't keep my virgin. I ran off, you know. So the scripture I was referring to with David, I thought, was it David? Let me look up flower. Here we go, 1 Samuel 2 and 33. Behold, the days come that I will cut off thine arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thine house, and thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, in all the wealth which the Most High shall give Israel, and there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. And the man of thine whom I shall not cut off from my altar shall be to consume thy eyes, and to grieve thine heart, and all the increase of thine house shall die in the flower of their age. So what does that mean? It's not a curse if to die in your old age. So what is that flower? What is that flower referring to? Flower. Let's just look up. Let's just see what it's. Flower of their age. Man, mortal man, person, mankind, of an individual, man, collective, man, and mankind. You notice the scripture said that there won't be an old man in thine house forever. Remember that? Okay. It's not giving me no meat here. It's not giving me nothing there that I want. And this shall be a sign to thee that shall come upon thy two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas, and one day they shall die both of them. Where is it at? Oh, and thou shalt see an enemy in my habitation, and all the wealth which the Most High shall give Israel, and there shall not be an old man in thine house forever. So, like I said, you know, um, um, the scriptures mention being offended. Yeah. spell it right. My brain is killing me right now. Being offended in the Heavenly Father, you know. The scripture said, cursed is that man who's offended. You know. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you were edified. You know, the whole purpose of the video is to open your eyes and just, you know, the Lord's dealing with you. You know, you can see the scriptures for what they clearly are, man. You know. So till next time, Lord willing, shalom.